I ran upstairs and slammed the bathroom door. My hands shook against the sink. One look in the mirror, and my knees buckled. I stared into the mirror again and couldn't recognize myself. It looked like someone had splashed acid across my skin. Where my face used to be, the beautiful face that had been on magazine covers, the face that was about to land me the biggest contract of my career, there was now something that looked like it had been burnt by a chemical. All from a skincare product I used an hour ago. A product I had been using for years without problems. How could this be? I touched my face, thinking this had to be a nightmare. It was real. Then I screamed, a sound so raw it tore through the walls and so loud it drew everyone in the house. 5 minutes later, my 15-year-old sister was being accused of poisoning my special face lotion, while the person who actually did it stood there watching with fake tears in her eyes. Before I take you back to where it all began, subscribe now and like the video if you can't stand evil people getting away with hurting others. My name is Linda Winston. I'm 29 years old, and I live in Portland, Oregon, with my loving husband. I'm a face model, not Instagram influencer stuff, but real editorial work. The kind of career where your face is literally your fortune. For 6 years, I'd built this career one campaign at a time, starting with local beauty brands and working my way up until casting directors knew my name. My signature feature was my face shape, a perfectly proportioned oval face with high cheekbones and clear skin that photographers said was impossibly smooth. Makeup artists loved working with me because I gave them a flawless canvas. Then Nivea came calling. Nivea, one of the biggest skincare brands in the world, wanted me as the face of their new anti-aging line. Not just any campaign, their global launch across North America and Europe. We're talking billboards, magazine spreads, television commercials. A contract that would change everything. The kind of opportunity that comes once in a career if you're lucky. My husband, Peter Winston, was over the moon. He's a corporate consultant, steady and supportive, the kind of man who never felt threatened by my success. He called his mother Maria immediately to share the news, so proud he could barely contain himself. That phone call set everything in motion, though neither of us knew it at the time. Peter and I met 5 years ago at a friend's wedding. He was the best man, I was a bridesmaid. We spent the entire reception talking about everything except our jobs, travel, books, the documentary series we'd both binge-watched about ocean life. He didn't care that I was a model. He cared that I could quote his favorite philosophy professor. We got married 2 years later in a small ceremony in Texas before moving to Oregon. The Winston family was a small one. Maria had just Peter and Vicky. Her husband was late. Vicky was 25, unmarried, and had jealousy in her eyes. Then there was Nora, my younger sister. Sweet, sometimes mischievous 15-year-old Nora, who was staying with us while school was on spring break. She looked up to me, wanted to be a model too someday. She'd often sneak into my bathroom sometimes to try my makeup or use my skincare products. It annoyed me occasionally, but she was just a kid figuring herself out. I never imagined that innocent teenage curiosity would be used to destroy her. When Maria suggested she and Vicky come visit for a few days to celebrate the Nivea news properly, I thought it was sweet. Peter seemed surprised. His mother wasn't usually the spontaneous visiting type, but he was happy they wanted to be part of this moment. They arrived on Monday afternoon with overnight bags and Maria's famous lasagna. That first evening was pleasant enough. We ate dinner, talked about the campaign, made plans to visit the Japanese garden the next day. Vicky seemed genuinely happy for me, asking questions about the shoot schedule, complimenting my skin. "I don't know how you keep it so perfect," she said, touching her own face self-consciously. "I've tried everything, and I still break out. Good skincare routine," I told her. "And honestly, good genetics. My mom has amazing skin too." Something flickered across her face then, but it was gone so fast, I thought I'd imagined it. Tuesday passed normally. We visited the gardens, had lunch at this little Thai place Peter loves. Nora was quieter than usual, but I figured she was just being a shy teenager around Peter's family. That evening, around 8 p.m., I went upstairs to do my nightly skincare routine. I had a special moisturizer I'd been using for years, custom-made by a boutique skincare chemist in Seattle. It cost a fortune, but it was worth every penny for keeping my skin camera-ready. I smoothed it on my face like I'd done 1,000 times before. The texture felt normal. The scent was right. Nothing seemed off. I went back downstairs, joined everyone for dessert. We watched a movie. Around 9 p.m., my face started itching. At first, it was just mild irritation. Maybe I'd gotten some dust in my pores at the garden. Then the itching intensified, spreading across my cheeks, my forehead, down my neck. My skin felt hot, tight, like it was shrinking. I think I'm having a reaction to something, I told Peter, touching my face. I need to wash this off. I walked to the bathroom, still thinking it was just a minor allergic response. Maybe the moisturizer had gone bad. It happens sometimes with natural products. I'd wash my face, take a Benadryl, be fine by morning. I pushed open the bathroom door, flipped on a light, and looked in the mirror. What I saw made me forget how to breathe. My face was destroyed. Not irritated, destroyed. Angry red burns covered my cheeks in spreading patches. Blisters were forming along my jaw. The skin on my forehead was peeling away in translucent sheets, revealing raw tissue underneath. My left eye was swelling shut. The smooth, flawless skin that was my entire career looked like someone had thrown acid on it. I touched my face with shaking fingers, and skin came away on my hand. This couldn't be real. This couldn't be happening. I grabbed a washcloth, frantically dabbing at my face with cold water, but the damage was already done. The chemical, whatever it was, had burned through layers of skin. I looked in the mirror again, hoping somehow it had been a trick of the light. It was worse. I could see my face continuing to blister in real time. The scream that came out of me didn't sound human. It was the sound of someone watching their entire life disintegrate in front of them. Footsteps thundered up the stairs. The bathroom door burst open. Peter was first, his face shifting from confusion to absolute horror. Then Nora, her hand flying to her mouth. Then Maria, clutching her chest. Then Vicky, her eyes going wide with what looked like perfect shock. Linda, what? Peter stopped, staring at my face. Oh my God, what happened? I couldn't speak. I just kept touching my face, making small wounded sounds, watching in the mirror as my career dissolved with every passing second. What did you use? Peter grabbed the counter, looking at my skincare products lined up. What caused this? My moisturizer. I managed. The same one I always use. I don't understand. We need to get you to the hospital, Peter said, already pulling out his phone. Right now. Maria pushed forward. How is this possible? Linda, did you buy something new? Use a different product. No, I sobbed. Nothing new. The same routine I've done for years. This doesn't make sense. That's when Vicky screamed. Wait. Nora, what have you done? Every head in that bathroom turned. Nora stood in the doorway, small and confused, her face white with shock. What? Maria said. Nora? I saw her, Vicky said, her voice trembling. Earlier today. She was in here, using Linda's things. I caught her with the moisturizer jar. The room went silent except for my ragged breathing. Nora? Peter's voice was strained. Is that true? Nora's eyes filled with tears. Yes, but I didn't. You were in this bathroom? Using Linda's products. Vicky pressed. Yes, but... Oh my God, Vicky said, and I heard something in her voice that made my skin crawl. Something that sounded almost like satisfaction hidden under shock. Nora, what did you do to that cream? Nothing. Nora's voice cracked. I just used a little bit, I swear, I didn't do anything to it. Then why does Linda's face look like that? Vicky demanded. You are the only one in here. Wait, Peter said, his voice getting angry. Vicky, what exactly did you see? I came upstairs around 6 p.m. to use the bathroom, Vicky said, and her story came out so smooth, so rehearsed. The door was cracked open. Nora was in here, standing right at the counter with Linda's moisturizer in her hands. When she saw me, she looked guilty, scared. I asked what she was doing, and she begged me not to tell Linda because it was expensive cream. My brain was screaming that something was wrong with this story, but I was too shocked, too focused on my destroyed face to think clearly. Nora, Peter bored my sister with an accusatory look. Tell me the truth. All of it. What were you doing in here? I just wanted to try the cream, Nora sobbed. I'm sorry, Linda, I know I shouldn't have, but your skin is always so perfect, and I just wanted to see if it would work for me too. But I didn't do anything to it, I swear. I just used a tiny bit. But Vicky was shaking her head, her face troubled. Nora, I saw you put something in your pocket when I walked in. Something white. It looked like a small bottle. That's a lie, Nora screamed. Peter picked up my moisturizer jar, opened it, sniffed. His face went hard. There's a chemical smell. Faint, but it's there. This cream has been tampered with. Check her room, Vicky said quietly. If she took something, put something in the cream, maybe the evidence is still there. We moved as a group to the guest room where Nora was staying. Peter opened the bedside drawer while Nora protested desperately. I didn't do anything, please, you have to believe me. Peter's hand emerged, holding a small white bottle. Empty. The label read, industrial-grade drain cleaner, caustic warning. The room went absolutely silent. Where did this come from? Peter's voice was deadly quiet. I don't know. Nora was hysterical now. That's not mine. I've never seen that before. But I could see it on everyone's faces. They believed she'd done it. My 15-year-old sister, who just wanted to feel pretty, was being accused of deliberately destroying my face. We need to go, Peter said to me. Hospital. Now. Everyone else stays here. The drive to the emergency room was a blur of tears and agony. My face was burning, throbbing, getting worse by the minute. Peter kept his eyes on the road, his jaw clenched so tight, I could see the muscle jumping. She didn't do this, I said through my sobs. Peter, Nora wouldn't. I know, he said quietly. I don't think she did either. I looked at him. Then who? He didn't answer, but I saw his hands tighten on the steering wheel. We both knew. We just couldn't prove it. At the hospital, they rushed me into treatment. Chemical burn, 1st and 2nd degree in place. The doctor's face said everything. We'll do what we can, she told me. But there will be scarring. Significant scarring. I'm sorry. My campaign was in 3 weeks. My face was my career. And it was gone. I spent 2 days in the hospital while they treated the burns. The pain was unbearable, but worse was the knowledge of what I'd lost. Peter stayed with me the entire time. He told me Vicky and Maria had left to give us space to process. Nora was still at our house. That same day, Peter got a call. He stepped into the hallway, spoke quietly for several minutes, then came back with a strange look on his face. That was Nora, he said. I called her privately. Asked her to tell me everything, just the two of us, no one else listening. And she admitted she snuck into our bathroom around 6 p.m. to steal some of your cream. She said Vicky walked in and caught her. But here's the thing, Vicky didn't ask what she was doing. She immediately knew Nora was using your moisturizer, like she'd been watching for it. Then Vicky told Nora to leave the bathroom immediately. Nora left. She didn't touch anything else. And the drain cleaner bottle, Peter said. Nora says she's never seen it before. She doesn't even know where our cleaning supplies are kept. She's only been here a week. But Vicky would know, I said slowly. She's been to this house dozens of times. We sat with that knowledge, both of us thinking the same thing. It was Vicky. But thinking it and proving it were two different things. And there was another problem. Peter's entire family believed Nora did it. His mother, probably even his friends by now. The story was set. Troubled teenage sister, jealous of successful model, destroys her career in a moment of spite. I believe Nora, I told him. Completely. But Peter, how do we prove what really happened? He didn't have an answer. The next morning, I made a call to my agent Sue. My hands shook as I explained there'd been an accident with my face. I didn't specify what kind. How bad? Sue asked bluntly. She'd been in this industry long enough to know accident could mean anything.
Bad, I said.
Significant scarring. I don't know if. Send me a photo. With trembling fingers, I took a selfie. My face was bandaged in places, swollen, discolored. Where the bandages didn't cover, you could see the raw, burned skin, the blisters, the damage. I looked like someone who'd survived a fire. I sent it. Sue called back 10 minutes later. We're not canceling, she said. We're pivoting. What? Nivea loves this. Real beauty. Courage over perfection. Defined by courage, not scars. That's the new tagline. Linda, you've spent 6 years being known for flawless skin. Now you're going to be known for being more than that. Come to the shoot. We launch in 3 weeks as planned. I hung up and stared at the hospital wall. The person who'd tried to destroy my career had accidentally made me more valuable than ever. There was irony in that. But it didn't feel like victory yet. Because Vicky was still free, still lying, still letting a 15-year-old girl take the blame for what she'd done. I wanted proof. I needed proof. I just had no idea where it would come from. That Saturday, while I was still recovering at home, hidden behind bandages and barely leaving my room, the universe delivered justice in the most unexpected way. Oliver Shelby had been the handyman for our neighborhood estate for 7 years. He fixed doors, repaired roofs, maintained fences, kept a small shed on the property where he stored tools and supplies. Peter had always been good to him, paid him well, gave him Christmas gifts, and treated him with respect, better than other residents of the estate. Oliver had come for his usual weekly duties when he noticed his shed door was hanging wrong. Someone had broken the lock. He felt that spike of violation everyone feels when their space has been invaded. But he'd installed a CCTV camera a few weeks earlier. He'd had problems with neighborhood kids messing with his equipment, and the camera was positioned perfectly to capture anyone entering the shed. There was another camera inside the shed. He pulled up the footage on his phone, scrolling through the past week. And there she was. Monday night, 11 p.m. Vicky Winston, Peter's sister, looking around nervously before approaching the shed. She tried the door, locked. She looked around again, then picked up a rock and smashed the lock. The camera captured everything in clear detail. Vicky pushing open the door, using her phone flashlight to illuminate the interior, scanning the shelves frantically like she was searching for something specific. Then she found it. The white bottle on the second shelf. Industrial-grade drain cleaner. Oliver kept it for clearing stubborn clogs in estate pipes. Vicky reached for it, held it up to the light, read the label. Then she tucked it inside her jacket and left. Oliver watched the footage 3 times, trying to understand what he was seeing. Why would Peter's sister break into a shed? Why would she steal drain cleaner?
He had a choice.
He could call the cops and get Vicky arrested. He chose not to. He thought about Peter, who'd always treated him like a person instead of help. Who'd asked about his kids, remembered their names. Who'd paid him extra when Oliver's daughter needed dental work. Oliver walked to the house. Peter and I were on the couch. We were watching a recap of the New York Fashion Week on BET when the bell rang. Oliver asked to speak to Peter privately. They stepped onto the porch. Peter, I need to tell you something, Oliver said. Earlier this week, someone broke into my shed. I have it on camera. It was your sister, Vicky. She broke in Monday night and stole a bottle of industrial drain cleaner. Peter went absolutely still. You're certain? I have video. Clear footage. Timestamped Monday at 11 p.m. Show me. Oliver pulled up the footage on his phone. Peter watched in silence, his face getting harder with every second. When it finished, he asked Oliver to send him the video file. I'm not pressing charges, Oliver said. Because of you. Because you've always been decent to me. But I thought you should know.
Peter shook his hand.
Thank you. You have no idea what this means. After Oliver left, Peter came inside. I was sitting in the living room, face still bandaged, feeling sorry for myself. He sat beside me and showed me the video. I watched Vicky break into that shed. Watched her steal the exact chemical that had destroyed my face. Watched her tuck it away with the nervous efficiency of someone who'd planned this carefully. It was her, I whispered. The whole time it was her. I'm calling a family meeting, Peter said. His voice had gone cold in a way I'd never heard before. Tomorrow. Everyone will be there. And everyone will see the truth. That night, Peter called everyone. Casual, friendly. Hey Vicky, can you come over tomorrow? I have a surprise for you. Something special. To his mother. Mom, family dinner tomorrow. Be there by 4 p.m. The next morning, Sunday, they arrived. Peter had set up the TV, connected his laptop. Wine was poured. Everyone settled into seats, curious about this mysterious surprise. Vicky was all dressed up, beaming. She thought she was getting a gift. Maybe jewelry. Maybe a trip. Something to make her feel special. Peter stood, raised his glass. Before I give Vicky her surprise, let's toast to family.
To trust.
To truth. Everyone clinked glasses. Vicky smiled, so wide. Vicky, this surprise is about you, Peter said. About who you really are. The TV flickered to life. The security footage began playing. The moment Vicky saw the settings showing on the TV screen, she gasped. It was all too familiar to her. We all watched Vicky approach the shed at 11 p.m. Watched her look around nervously. Watched her smash the lock with a rock. The room went completely silent. The footage continued. Vicky entering the shed. Scanning shelves with her phone light. Maria gasped. What is this? Then Vicky found the bottle. Held it up. Read the label. The camera captured it clearly, drain cleaner. She tucked it inside her jacket and quickly ran out of the shed. The video ended. No one moved. Vicky had gone chalk white. Nora was crying silently. Maria looked like she might faint. That was Monday night at 11 p.m., Peter said quietly. The night before Linda used her moisturizer. The night before her face was burned with drain cleaner. The exact chemical you stole from Oliver's shed. Vicky's voice cracked. I can explain. Explain what? Peter's voice was ice. How you broke into a shed and stole industrial chemicals. How you poisoned my wife's moisturizer. How you let a 15-year-old girl take the blame for what you did. It wasn't, I didn't mean, Vicky was stammering, her face red, tears starting to fall. I just wanted. You wanted what? I asked.
My voice came out raw.
To destroy my face? To end my career? To hurt me so badly I'd never recover? You have everything. Vicky exploded. You always have. The face, the career, the perfect life, my brother. Everyone loves you. And I'm nothing. I'm the daughter who can't keep a relationship, who doesn't have a career, who isn't beautiful enough or successful enough or good enough. You don't know what it's like to be invisible next to someone like you. So you tried to destroy her, Peter said flatly. I didn't think it would be that bad, Vicky sobbed. I just wanted to make her sick. Make her miss the shoot. Show you she wasn't perfect. I didn't know it would. She gestured at my bandaged face. And Nora? Peter asked dangerously. A 15-year-old girl? You were going to let her be branded as disturbed, dangerous, for something you did. She was in the bathroom, Vicky screamed. She gave me the perfect cover. I saw her using the cream, and it was opportunity. I thought no one would ever know. Maria finally found her voice. Vicky. Oh my God. Vicky, what have you done? We were interrupted by a knock at the door. Everyone froze. The room went completely silent. Who could that be? Maria whispered. Peter stood. His face was grim. I know exactly who it is. He walked to the door and opened it. Two police officers stood on our porch. The room erupted. Peter, no. Maria screamed. Please, she's your sister? Please, Peter. Vicky was sobbing hysterically. Don't do this. I'm sorry. I'll do anything. Please. The officers stepped inside. One of them looked at the TV, still frozen on the image of Vicky holding the stolen chemical as she ran out of the shed. Peter had already sent the footage to them. Vicky Winston? The officer asked. Vicky nodded, tears streaming down her face. You're under arrest for aggravated assault and burglary. You have the right to remain silent. As they read her rights, Maria collapsed onto the couch, sobbing. Nora was crying too, but quietly, vindicated at last. I just sat there, bandaged and scarred, watching Peter's sister get handcuffed. You think you're innocent? Vicky screamed at me as they led her toward the door. You think you're the victim? You always got everything handed to you. I had nothing. Nothing. And you just kept winning. Peter's voice cut through her screaming. You almost destroyed my wife. You traumatized a child. You poisoned someone's face because you were jealous. You deserve to be put away. The officers took her outside. Her screams echoed through the neighborhood as they put her in the police car. When the door closed, the silence was deafening. Then I broke. I buried my face in Peter's chest and sobbed. Huge, gasping sobs that sounded like they were tearing me apart. All the pain, all the fear, all the trauma of the past week came pouring out. Nora ran to me, throwing her arms around both of us. I'm sorry, she kept saying. I'm so sorry I used your cream. If I hadn't been in there, she wouldn't have. No. I pulled back, looking at her tear-stained face. You did nothing wrong. You were just a kid being curious.
She did this.
All of it. And you were brave enough to tell the truth even when no one believed you. Maria sat on the couch, looking 20 years older, speechless. The next few weeks were a blur of legal proceedings, police statements, and medical treatments. Vicky was charged with aggravated assault, burglary, and filing a false report. The evidence was overwhelming. The video footage, the chemical match, Nora's testimony about being caught in the bathroom and threatened into silence. The story hit the news. Model's face destroyed in jealousy-fueled attack. It spread through social media. My Instagram exploded with messages of support. And then the Nivea campaign launched. The photos were stunning. Me, with my scarred face, looking directly into the camera. No filters. No hiding. Just truth. The tagline across every image, defined by courage, not scars. The campaign went viral immediately. Not just in fashion circles, but everywhere. News outlets picked it up. Model turns vicious attack into powerful statement. My social media followers tripled overnight. Women shared their own stories of being judged on appearance, of surviving attempts to diminish them. The person who'd tried to destroy me had made me more successful than I'd ever been. Vicky ended up taking a plea deal. 2 years in prison, mandatory therapy, permanent restraining order from our family. At her sentencing, the judge said, "You tried to destroy someone's career and face out of jealousy. Your actions were premeditated, cruel, and cowardly. You will have 2 years to think about the person you want to be when you get out." Maria visits her once a month. Peter hasn't seen her since the arrest. He says maybe someday, but not yet. The wound is too fresh. Nora recovered faster than I expected. Having the truth come out, being believed, being protected, it healed something in her. She still wants to be a model, but now she also talks about advocacy work for teens who've been falsely accused. She's turning her trauma into purpose. 6 months later, My face is healed as much as it's going to. The scars are permanent, textured patches across my cheeks, discoloration that makeup can't fully hide. I'll never look like I did before. But I'm booking more campaigns than ever. The scars became part of my brand. The model who refused to let cruelty define her. I've walked in Fashion Week shows. I've been featured in documentaries about beauty standards. My career didn't end. It evolved into something more meaningful. Last week, Peter and I had dinner with Maria and Nora. Just the four of us, trying to rebuild something that had been shattered. At one point, Nora looked at me and said, "You know what I learned from all this?
What?
That real beauty isn't about having a perfect face. It's about having the courage to stand up for the truth even when it costs you something." That night, after everyone left, I stood in front of the mirror. The same mirror where I'd first seen my destroyed face. My scars caught the light. Different than before, but still mine. Still strong. Still growing. Peter came up behind me, wrapped his arms around my waist. "Any regrets?" he asked. "About pressing charges? About everything?" I thought about Nora's face when the police arrived. About the moment Vicky realized her cruelty wouldn't be swept under the rug. About all the women who'd messaged me saying my story gave them courage to stand up for themselves. I didn't really know how I felt. Justice was served, and that was all that mattered. If this story gripped you, if it made you think about justice and what it really means to refuse to be diminished, then you'll want to stick around. Every week, I share more stories like this, raw, real, and packed with lessons most people only learn the hard way. So if you don't want to miss the next one, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Not for me, for you. Because the best stories aren't just entertaining. They're reminders that standing up for yourself is always worth it. And if you got value out of this one, show some love with a like. It tells me you're ready for more.